Hello, everyone, and welcome to Under the Sportlight, the podcast that explores the people who live and breathe professional sport. I'm your host, Phil, and today's guest is one of the most electric guards in international basketball. She's an Eurobasket champion with Belgium. She has played all over the world, from her home country of Belgium to France, Sweden, Hungary, Italy, Australia, Spain, Russia, Turkey, all the way to the WNBA. Her story is one of patience, resilience, and earning everything the hard way. This is Julie Vanloo. Julie, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. And if you say all these things, I'm like, wow, I've been really everywhere.
It sounds like a lot, eh?
Yes, it is a lot. It's been a lot. I agree.
Yeah. For us to begin, I wanted to start, if you could tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was it like growing up in Belgium? And I might say the name wrong, but the city where you lived was Ostende. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, you say it perfectly. I couldn't say it better because
Nice.
I'm almost never in Belgium, so I would forget my mother language. So you said it perfectly. My childhood, I mean, I was a sunshiny kid when we go back to the if we go back to how I was in class and in school, like all teachers were always saying you were the sunshine of the classroom. Like I just always smiled. I just enjoyed my young life. I was always outside. Of course, we didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have social media. We didn't have that much like entertainment on like with PlayStations and everything, you know. I mean, I am a 90s kid, so I was outside all the time. I did my homework and then I was either off to practice or I was playing outside. I was a very busy kid. I played soccer. I played basketball. I was very good in skating. Um, like just being actually like a little boy. I was one of the boys. I was always hanging around with them. I didn't really have much like girly friends. I just liked everything that the guys were doing. And I think that shaped me also into the person I was today because I always was one of the guys. I was practiced with guys and that made me kind of like tougher. So yeah, that's kind of my childhood, just me outside playing and doing the things I love to do.
And did you do anything else other than sports, or was that mainly what you were doing
I
outside?
mean, no, I, but no, I didn't do anything else. I really wasn't interested in anything else, like making music or painting or whatever. Like, I just wanted to be outside doing the things, challenging myself, doing a new trick on my skateboard or trying to beat the guys in soccer. Like, I just wanted to do that. I was very competitive for myself and in general and forced myself. I mean, my mom basically forced myself to work for school because I was not really liking school that much. I liked school to just go with my friends, but I didn't like the whole concept of learning and studying. So my mom pushed me hard to like actually finish it. So because I knew at a very early age that I wanted to play basketball, and if it was me, I would just have left earlier. Yeah.
Well, did you have a sports family then, or was it just you?
No, my mom didn't do any professional sports, neither did my dad. My mom used to do gymnastic when she was younger, and my dad used to be a keeper in soccer, but it was more for the after party of the soccer games with his friends. So I didn't really, but my dad always loved basketball. He always used to take me to the basketball game of the men's in Ostende. We have a very good men's team. So I used to go watch the games with him at a very young age, and soccer always been around because my dad is a huge fan of Bruges, so he took me to Bruges. So I kind of became a fan. So it's always been there because my parents liked, especially my dad liked to watch sports. They weren't athletes at all.
What drew you to the game of basketball in the beginning?
I think going to watch it with my dad kind of triggered me, but at a very young age, I was already dribbling the ball. When we was going to a store, I was asking my dad for a basketball or for a ball in general. I just always wanted to have a ball. I didn't care too much about other toys. I just wanted to have a ball. And we had a school at the across the street. My dad and I used to go hunt for balls because they were playing and they got lost. The balls were like in the bushes and everywhere on the deck. Like we was going to look for for balls and we took them
Yeah.
home, and then the garden was just full of, yeah, basketball, soccer balls, like anything we could find. And so it's just me and my basketball, me and my soccer ball since the very beginning. And so I was 4 years old when I started to dribble the ball inside the house, and then my mom told my dad, like, no, we gotta put her
Go outside.
somewhere because go outside. So I went to like a little boys team in Ostende and started there at a very I was 4.5. I started too soon actually because you don't really have a team at 4. But I just immediately entered with the boys, and I was really the only girl with the boys. So that's how it started, and I loved it.
And at what point did it start to feel like more than just a hobby or something you did for fun?
At 5, maybe. I mean, it was basketball above anything. Like, I would never skip a game. I would never skip a practice for anything. I remember there was little birthday parties um of my classmates. They had a birthday party in this crazy, like, indoor playground thing. It was literally amazing. And I remember my mom picked me up, and I got paint got paint on everywhere on my face because it was a birthday party, and I was in practice with the painting on my face. My mom still has a picture from that, and she said, like, we talked about it a couple of months ago, and she's like, it didn't matter for you, like, you wanted to have both. You wanted to go to the party, but practice was at, I don't know, 5:30, so you were there at 5:30. So it's always been something that I was very dedicated about. Until 8 years old, I was playing with the boys. Then it was time for me to go to a girls' team. And I didn't want to just go to a girls' team. I wanted to be in the girls' team that we played against, and it was tough. We won, but it was a tough game. So I told my parents that's the only team I want to play for. I don't want to play for a team that loses every weekend or doesn't take basketball seriously. So then I moved to a team that was 1 hour drives every time. So just to tell you, like, I knew exactly what I wanted when I was young.
Well, from a young age then, and what was it like for you being young? And I assume, did you feel like you were better than all the other kids playing with you, or most of them?
I mean, yeah, I would say that I was pretty good. Me playing with the guys was never easy. I was never the best of the team because, yeah, guys are just a little more athletic, a little more quick. Like, it was always for me. I was battling for my spot for sure, but I was definitely already good. And especially then when I moved to the girls team, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I was the quickest. I was I don't know, the most, I don't know, like, confident maybe. So yeah, I think I knew because of, yeah, I don't know. I was just, especially from my speed, I was very quick. I still am, but I was at a young age, I felt like I was quicker than most people. I was very quick, and especially with the ball in my hands. So felt like I could beat anybody.
Did you at that point already have high expectations from coaches and family, things like that?
Family for sure, no. My parents never put any expectations for me ever since till the day of today. They never have any expectations, which I love about them. That's, I think, why is this the positive part of not coming from an athlete family, I think, because they will not correct me. They will not push me to things that they don't know what it is to be in this life. But of course, coaches, yeah, at a very young age. I think when I moved to that other team, after the boys, my first girls team, I remember that coach was very hard, very he demanding, discipline. Like, I felt like, oh, he's taking basketball as serious as I am. So we're on the same page, and it wasn't always easy because I wasn't the I was a bit like the class clown. I just wanted to have fun, and sometimes it was a bit on the limit, joking around a little bit too much, but at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was have fun on the court. And if I find the middle way with discipline and fun, that's when you get the best Julie.
You had your teenage years. How did those years look different from your friends because of basketball at that point? How seriously were you playing it? And how was it different than your friends' lives that didn't have that?
But nobody had that type of life around me because everything was in function of basketball. More and more, I had to say no to things, concerts or birthday parties or like daily things that these kids were doing. I was just in the gym playing games. School was the only thing I did, and basketball. The free time was mostly put into my schoolwork because I was struggling at school to maintain everything. And then at a very young age, I was 15 when I first um, got selected for the national team, seniors. So I was 15 years old and I was already walking around with 30-year-old people, which wasn't easy. It was also in the middle of my school, so I had to skip school. And also for my classmates back then, they were like, what is she doing? Nobody understood what my dream was, what my goal was, why I was not in school. So there was also a part of them like kind of bullying, like she doesn't take school, she gets a special treatment, she can skip school and still don't do a part of those exams. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't always easy, but I mean, I took the right steps. I changed school when I was 16 years old. It's not easy. I changed city to go to a different basketball team, lived in an apartment with my mom, but my mom was going to work every day, so I was alone for a long time. I left the house when I was 16, basically. I left my parents' house when I was 16 to follow my dream to be in a pro club that took basketball even more serious than all the other clubs I had. And all for that one goal is what it's to go to either college or either go abroad. It was the only thing I wanted. And school was for me something I had to finish because my mom told me to. You have to finish school. When you're 18, you decide what you do. And that was the only thing she told me. And I was like, all right, like, let's do it. And then I'm free,
Yeah.
but
If
it
that's the
wasn't
only
easy.
criteria.
Yes, that was the only thing she wanted me to do because she know damn well that I was not about to go to college and come home with a degree of medication or I don't know what or business or whatever. Not that I was not smart. I could definitely do that. That's not the problem. It's just that she knew exactly what would make me happy and what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it sounds like you had to give up a lot.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of pressure? Did you feel a lot of pressure show up for you back then already?
It's very much in the past because the type of pressure I felt there, I wish I knew what pressure feels like now. Because when you're younger, the pressure doesn't feel as serious as the pressure is right now. Because when you're young, you don't play for a huge amount of money. You don't play for winning titles. Losing isn't the worst thing that can happen to a team or to a club. Where you are now, when you play for these big clubs, like last year, Galatasaray, when you lose an important game, that's when it's getting serious. That's when the pressure is sky high. That's when they expect you to perform. They look at your stats. When I was 17, 18, I thought I couldn't handle the pressure because I think then it was more so me. I needed to grow up faster than I should. And I think that was the part that I struggled with the most. It wasn't so the pressure, it was more just like people expecting me to act like a grown woman when I'm just literally still a kid and I just want to play hide and seek instead of talking about what furniture you will buy for your house that you bought. Because that was literally the difference of a 15-year-old sitting on a table with seniors. Like, what do you expect? That was the hard. I think that's the pressure part that I felt when I was younger, is that fast forward of growing up and being, because you're a point guard. I was a point guard at that young age too. Like, you need to organize, you need to be serious, you need to talk to your team. All of that you don't realize when you're young. You have no clue. You you're like, what is this? And now the type of pressure I feel now, it's like perform, perform, perform. You're a WNBA player, you're a European champion, you're one of the best guards, you need to perform. That type of pressure is completely different. I wish I knew that when I was younger.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like you had to grow up really fast
Mm-hmm.
and really early. So tell me about when you first moved outside of the country. Where did you go and how was that move for you? Were you also very young at that time?
I was 19 years old when I left Belgium to go to France. I signed a 2-year contract in Mondeville, about a 4-hour drive from our house, from my home. And yeah, that was the big first step. Um, I also was starting point guard, I remember, and I remember I was totally not ready for what was coming because how good I was in Belgium and how easy it was to beat everybody in Belgium. I came to France and then all of a sudden I am literally just a number. I'm just number 5, jersey number 5. Ain't nobody know who I was. I had to prove myself. And I was like, what is that? Proving yourself? Like, how do you do that? And then you feel the pressure, and then you feel like nobody respects you, and you feel like you don't have any experience. And then you realize, oh, respect comes with years, with age, with accomplishments, with all of that, you know? So that was very new to me because from being very respected and very put on a high platform in Belgium, going to France where, yeah, they didn't care, especially France. Is a country that's very hard to come as a foreigner and be impactful, because France is a great country. The French players are so good. They don't even need that much foreigners because they have so much talent in their own ocean to fish in, you know? So instead of me thinking, oh, I can fit in easily, no, that was not true. So that was a hard part. And of course, yeah, living by myself for the first time, da 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 da. But that's not that, that was not that big of a deal. Like, I figured that out pretty quickly. I never really had a problem with that, but it was more so like trying to have fun in basketball when everything was so serious. I was like, wow, why so serious? You know?
Yeah, I totally get it. Did you have any problems with language? Because as far as I know, Belgium, there's some Dutch, some French. When you moved to France, did you already speak French at that point?
Yeah. They teach it at school. It's a language that I knew very well, so that definitely helped my integration for sure. It's not fluently perfect, my French, but I can definitely like speak it without thinking too much. I'll make a mistake here and there, but they can understand me.
Well, I've seen some of your vlogs and you're speaking French, and I can't understand it, but it sounds great.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Now that I talk so much with Julie, like my French got better.
Yeah, is her first language French then? And
Yes, she's from the French side and I'm from the Flemish side, so that's why.
I've been to Belgium before, and I've
Yeah.
heard it, and it sounds really difficult. What is Flemish like? Is it a mixture of stuff, or is it its own thing?
No, it really is its own thing. It's not a mix of anything. Mostly when I speak Flemish with my parents, they will say like, "Oh, are you from Germany?" And then I'm like, "No, not at all," because I don't speak German. I don't understand it. I know yes, no, and thank you, but I feel like everybody knows that in every kind of language, some words. It's definitely a language of its own. That's why I was very, very focused in school to learn languages. I didn't care about any other thing besides French, English. I wanted to learn those languages because I knew one day I will need them. So, because I knew with my Flemish, I was not going to get anywhere. Nobody understands what the hell I'm saying. So, but it is a beautiful language. Like when you know Belgium, when you know the districts we have, the sides, like you got the west side and the east, and everybody has a different, then you have Brussels and Antwerp. Everybody has different accents, which is beautiful, but I feel like only Belgians will know. And Flemish is actually the same language as what they speak in Holland, in the Netherlands. It's Dutch, but it's with a completely different accent. It would say it's like if you have an American English and British English, you can say it's the same, but when you read it on paper, it is the same, but it's just pronounced completely different. So, yeah.
Okay, well, and you've also then moved around a lot after that, right? Like living in France, you said for 2 years. Did you play those 2 years in France?
Yeah, I played my 2 years in France, and then I remember I moved. I remember Sweden, Italy, Turkey, back to France, Hungary, Australia, Spain, Russia. Yeah, I can go on and on.
Being always on the move like that for a person like you who is, I'm sure, very relational. You said it yourself. You love having friends and being silly and then talking and having fun. What do relationships look like for you when you're living that lifestyle? Friends, family.
I mean, if I'm in France, if I'm in Turkey, if I'm in Spain, it doesn't change for my friends or my real friends. Like it doesn't really matter. They're having their life and they work and they do completely different things than I do. So that doesn't really matter. It's of course the relationships I make during the year, knowing that I'll move the year after, and that wasn't always easy. I got with some people really close, but then for example, in Australia, I have a couple of very good friends, but I haven't seen them since I left there Because yeah, I'm not going up and down to Australia just to like see them. It's too far. But I mean, I just went with the flow. It wasn't always my decision for this journey to happen. Trust me, if it was me, I would have looked more for stability. I just couldn't find my fit. It was hard for me. It was hard to find my stability in a club, in a team, in an organization that really truly understood me as a person and as a player. But also I felt like I didn't grow up much because I was trying to figure out who I wanted to be as a player.
Do you feel today you've achieved that stability at all, or does it still feel similar to how I did in the beginning?
It definitely feels like I find my stability because every decision that I made these past, let's say 5 years, 4 years have been made like because I had options, because I had a choice. I could really think about my future, which in the past it was like, oh, I got an offer, so let's just take it. I didn't have 5, 6 offers to think about. I didn't have the luxury to say, oh, maybe I shouldn't stay and maybe I should leave to something better, or like I didn't. It all changed when I signed in France, in Montpellier, in Belema. That's when my career shifted in a whole different dimension. Like that was a turning point for me when I finally found the team, the club, the coach. It was just like oh yeah, everything fell in place, and that probably happened after the first game. I realized I was like, that's the place that I want to play in. And then I signed for 3 years, but then Gala came to take me away from the team that I actually wanted to stay my whole life in. Because at that point, I didn't know how my future would look. I didn't know if Gala would be interested in me. I was looking for stability. And then as soon as I felt that stability in my head and my heart, I started to play better because the coach believed in me, helped me. And then I played a great European championship. We won the gold medal, and that opened every door. That opened the door Gala, that opened the door WNBA. It was crazy. Just 1 year of stability.
Well, at that point, when you're playing for Montpellier, did you already have the United States as a goal, or you were like, nope, this is it, I'm staying here?
No,
And at what point during that season when you're playing with them, when Gala comes, did you go, okay, I can actually go much further?
it's, I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the most difficult decisions I had to take, was leave BLMA at Montpellier. Because when I played there my first year, by the end of the season, they told me that there's a chance that some WNBA teams wanted me. They were like, they're very interested in you. They're considering you, but the league in France really is a long, it's like it goes until April, even May, and training camp starts middle of April. Of course, they're not going to let me not do training camp and then go straight into the team. I had to prove myself in training camp. So that first year in BLMA, it was just like my agent said, yeah, if you can't leave, you can't prove yourself in training camp. So maybe next year, maybe next year. And then I resigned before all that WNBA thing happened, that I actually got the chance and they wanted me. I resigned with Montpellier for another 2 years. So then I started to talk with the coach and I said, listen, it might happen that I can go to the WNBA, because what always was a dream is starting to be reality. People are really actually watching what I can do. And then he was like, well, when the moment is there, we can talk about it and I might let you leave earlier. I said, okay, perfect. But something didn't sit right with me. I was just like, what if we might win a championship, or what if he says no? Anyways, then I played Eurobasket. We won it. I was in the All-Star 5 that year. I had an amazing Eurobasket. And that's when I went back to Montpellier, was there for 2 weeks, and then Gala came to knock on the door and said, hey, we want you. If I'm telling you, the salary went like 4 times as high as I had in Montpellier, because my salary in Montpellier was low. Like I played there because I wanted to play for that coach. I knew I wasn't going to get big money. And Gala knocked on the door. The salary was there and the league is short. So I was ready for training camp. I said, I have to do it.
Turkey also has a huge basketball culture, right?
Exactly. And a lot of WNBA players. And already I was playing in that team that I was going to sign. They had Melissa Smith, Maisha Hines Allen, Bria Hartley, Tiffany Mitchell. Like, those are players that are already in the WNBA. Those are players that are being watched. In Montpellier, nobody was there from WNBA. Nobody's going to watch Montpellier. Or maybe less. So I said, I got to bet on myself. Let's do it. And how painful it was to leave Montpellier and tell the coach I was leaving, because for me, that was my home. Really, literally, that's the place where I finally could be Julie when 100% without no filter, just being myself. I felt like I grow so much as a person there and as a player. But Gala was the right choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, and throughout that whole time, you're also playing with the national team, right? You mentioned Eurobasket. What is it like for you playing with the Cats?
The Cats is something that is a very important part of my life in many ways. There's been ups and downs for me with the national team, but it's been as soon as first we had a coaching change, and it was the coach from Montpellier. He was a coach of national team for 1 year. His name is Valérie Demoury. He was the coach for 1 year. There already I felt like things were changing because he was putting me with Julie Allemand. In the past, I was seen as the backup, or I was seen as just the point guard of the national team, which finally a coach saw. Why are we putting Julie and Julie behind each other? Why are we not putting Julie and Julie next to each other? And then
Julie squared.
Yes, exactly. And that coach, so Valerie tried it, and then they switched him with Rashid Mezian, and then Rashid became coach, and then we had an individual meeting, and he said, like, I'm doubting to see what I'm gonna do with you, like if I'm gonna start you or no. And I said to him, I don't I don't understand. I was like, I don't think you understand how ready I am to get that starting position. There's nobody in this moment that's more ready than me, and I promise you that. Like, I promise you, if you give a chance to put me and Julie next to each other, you ain't gonna regret it. And he was just like, okay. And the rest is history. We won it. Julie and I created an amazing chemistry, because I don't think there's many backcourts like me and Julie, because the creation, the brain, the speed. Yeah, it's just, I'm sorry, it's unmatched. I think I think it was something that we were missing in our national team. And I think that really opened up a lot of doors for us. And I'm very thankful for those both coaches, that they gave me the chance to be next to Julie and opening that door for me to give me a big role. And it's ever since then for me. Yeah, of course the Cats have been an amazing journey, because it wasn't always easy. Yeah, it's been great, and I always love going back.
You're talking about how your relationship with Julie Allemand is, and how you two play together really nicely.
Mhm.
I think you guys are playing against each other this season in Turkey, aren't you?
Yeah, we have been playing a lot. I think we already seen each other 3 times playing against each other. She's playing for the strongest team in Turkey. Plus she has Emma. I feel like that's the unfair thing about it. I'm like, I say always to Julie, give me Emma for one game. You always have Emma with you. But yeah, no, yeah, it's weird to play against Julie, but it's fun to play against her. We laugh, we joke, because there's such a huge friendship behind this, behind basketball that we have, especially developed in LA, that I have the most respect for her. Now even more. Before I already had it, but when you play, I'm a point guard. I play point guard most of the time, and when I always tell this to many coaches, because some coaches tell me, yeah, but you're good at the 2-2. I'm like, yeah, I'm good if I have a good point guard next to me. If I got my maestro next to me, if I got Julie next to me, I can function very well at the position 2. You can, like, I have a very hard time moving at the position 2 if I feel like my 1 doesn't think like me. Where Julie is like, I never have to question anything she does, because as a point guard, you like to control things. You're the floor general. Like, I know what it is, and then it's not easy to go to a position 2 and then let that control just happen to another point guard. It's not easy. It's not many people can do that, especially point guards can't do that. But yes, I love playing with the two, but I love playing at the two with Julie because she's amazing. She finds her people so easily.
Yeah, it sounds like being in sync is really important, and probably generally in the game of basketball as well. When you're going to
Yes.
pass the ball, knowing where the other person is going to be in a second or two makes a big difference than not knowing, right? And just having that being in sync with each other.
Yes, 100%. That's exactly what we have. And now that we've built a friendship, it's even more, I would say, than in the beginning.
We're gonna get to the spark soon, where you also played with Julie. But I wanted to sort of go back into when did the WNBA first became a reality for you? You said it's gonna happen. You got an offer, more offers, and how did that journey happen?
Well, it's always been like I was working with an agent and he was telling me and we talking about when I was still playing in Russia, Hungary, Australia, like it was always like, oh, this team might be interested in you. Oh, this team has been looking, or this team, like there was always like a little bit of interest, but there was never nothing concrete. So it was very tiring for me because I was just like, are they lying to me? Is it not true? Are they trying to keep me in their agency? Like, and then I decided to change agency because I was just like, I don't know, something didn't feel right with me. And then the fam sports, they always said to me since a very young age, they've been following me and they say all the time when I do something crazy and there's some highlight or a good game that I played, they always say, you should be in the league. You should be in the league. You should be in the league. So at a certain day, I just contact them and I'm like, well, if you think I should be in the league, like, do you think it's still possible when I'm 30 or 31? They say, of course, like, we're going to fight for you. Like, we're going to make sure they start to follow you, but you got to put the right steps in your career. Like, I just resigned with BLMA. They were like, that's the wrong step. You need to, make sure you go to a bigger team with players that they're going to see you, this and that. So they said, okay, in 1 year, they told me, in 1 year, you're going to earn this money. And this was all before Gala contact me and everything. They say, you're going to earn this money. You're going to be in the WNBA. And by the second year, you're going to be not just in the WNBA, you'll be wanted in the WNBA. I was just like, all right, that agency believes in me. Let's just try it. So I changed. And that was step number first in betting on yourself and taking steps in your dreams, because you need the right people next to you. You need the people that believe your dream 100% and is like, yes, you can do it, and we're with you. So I changed my team. They helped me a lot with it because it wasn't easy, because I was under contract. Obviously, they had to have a buyout. It was a lot of money. It was just a crazy shit show. And then I left to Gala, and that's when it started to be real. Because after my Eurobasket, they were like, okay, Washington is very interested in you. They will come visit you. I said, oh, okay. They will come
Now
to
they're serious.
Turkey. Yeah, they will come to Turkey. They will sit with you at a table and they will talk. And I was like, oh, they will come to a game, they'll come to a practice, they will sit with you and they will eat and they will talk. And that's when all of a sudden, still till the day I saw Mike, I didn't believe it. Trust me. So I saw Mike and he saw me, and the first thing he said, I shake his hand and he was like, you are taller than I thought. I was like, well, yeah, I guess that's a good thing. He was like, of course, that's a good thing. We went for dinner and they gave me a book. They gave me clothes, some hoodie and some pants. Like, I can't even imagine how happy I was. And I told them, I said, I don't think you understand. And we're like, we know. We've been talking to your agent. We know how much this means for you. And I was like, oh, they've been telling them how much. Mike even said, we know that you would come to play in the WA for zero money. I say, yes. See, that's the players we want. Like they just didn't know how huge my dream was. They didn't know how bad I wanted it for years and how much I've been working. And Mike told me, we've been following you for a long time and it's time you are ready. And I was like, yes, I am 100% ready. And it's true, because before that, I was maybe not ready. I wasn't stable. I wasn't really finding myself. Now I knew which kind of player I was, what I could bring to the table. I knew exactly what they wanted from me. It was no question. I wasn't questioning myself. I knew what I could bring to the table. I knew what I could bring to the W. So that's when Maisha came. She hugged me and she was like, "Welcome to the Mystics." And then I was just like, "It's happening, you know. I'm a Mystic, and the rest is history." And then I was very lucky. Lucky, it's not lucky. I was lucky that Brittany Sykes got injured. Of course, I don't wish that because I'm very good with Brittany too. I respect her a lot. But she got injured, and that's when I got my chance. And that's when I could actually showed myself and got minutes, that starting position, and they 100% believed in me. Mike and Eric, especially Eric, I mean, the T-Bows in general, they are for me a huge part of my journey and still is because Mike is the coach now of the national team, which is great too. But they're a big part of that dream because they believed in me.
It sounds like, even though it's bad that someone got injured, that just opens a door of opportunity, right? So when
Yep.
opportunity meets preparation, you're ready to go into the WNBA and make your mark.
Yep.
And yeah, that's amazing. Now,
Yep.
when you first had that first season with the Washington Mystics, you were, for all intents and purposes, a rookie
Yes.
in your 30s. You were saying, like, oh, can I, come to the WNBA as a 30-year-old? So how was it being a rookie in your 30s, and how was your perspective different from other rookies that were maybe much younger than you?
I don't know. I felt like they always said the veteran rookie, and that in the beginning I was very like, I step a step aside to see and check the vibe and what can I do, and as more I just saw that already a lot of players knew my game from the Olympics, from national team, from World Cup, and people were very familiar about what I was doing. They just was like, finally you're here. And I felt already very respected even though I was just a rookie, and I felt I was respected a lot also by incoming rookies that were younger because they were very inspired by my story. They were very inspired about the fact that I became a rookie at 31 and that my journey was different and I never gave up. And I felt very respected. And he, I felt like they were like, yes, she's a rookie, but we don't need to treat her like a rookie, which I'm not saying that I was being treated differently. Absolutely not. But they wanted to take advantage of my international skills, of my experience, because having a rookie that already has that much experience is a huge advantage for many teams. And that's when, yeah, I just, besides the salary at that moment and everything that was new, I was a very much a rookie. But when I played, I tried really to not be that one and try to be a leader, try to be a real point guard, to facilitate, be a floor general as much as I could that year. So without stepping on anybody's toes, of course, and respecting the veterans that were even younger than me, but been in the league for 8 or 9 years.
After that first season with the Mystics, walk me through how then you went from being with Washington to playing with the Valkyries.
There was the expansion draft, and expansion draft is a very secret thing. Like, you don't know who are the 6 players that are protected. You don't know, you don't know anything. You don't know if you're gonna be on that expansion draft literally a few hours before they tell you. So a few hours before, my agent called me, the Valkyries called me, and they said, "Hey, we pick you." And I was like, "What do you mean you pick me?" Like, they were like, "Yeah, we pick you. Like, you fit our system, you fit our vibe, you fit everything. Like, we want you." And I was just like, that's exactly what my agent said. He said, the first year, we're gonna get you in the league. Then the second year, you're gonna leave a mark and you're gonna be wanted. And that's just like, that's what happened. I never got on a draft. I wasn't drafted. When I wanted that so bad, it was my biggest dream, but I wasn't drafted. So now it was like some sort of draft in a different way. My name was called in a draft. Okay, it's an expansion draft, but it's still a draft. And it was kind of like a full circle moment for me that, yeah, I was undrafted, but at least I was drafted. So that's how I ended up with the Valkyries, which for me still felt like a perfect fit. Will always feel like a perfect fit because the way they are, the way they think, the way they want to play basketball is something that fits me a lot. And I'm very happy and very thankful that I could spend a couple of months there because it was really amazing.
So it sounds like getting that phone call of the "we want you and we pick you" was a crazy experience
Yes.
for first time, just getting that call and saying, "Hey, we want you. You're coming."
Yes. Yes, because you don't even know if Washington even wants you back the year after, like, because then the Tebows got fired. I don't know if they still have me in their plans. You don't know anything in the W. You don't know your future. It's something that I don't know if I left a mark. In my opinion, yes, of course, I left the mark left and right, but am I fitting somebody's plan? You don't know. The W is a hard league. Like it's not something that's easy or you can like choose what you want. Like it's not working like that.
And you mentioned that you played for a couple of months only with the Valkyries, and then you went to play with the national team for the Euros. Is that what happened?
Yes, I went. Well, there was a huge. I was doubting a lot of going to the national team. Yes or no. That was a very hard time for me because I felt like my performance was lacking because of that. I was making a lot of mistakes. I wasn't really feeling like myself for a couple of weeks because I was like, should I stay here or should I leave? Because you know that there might be a chance that yeah, they move on if somebody does better than you because you will be replaced for that amount of time. And all of that, like it was a lot for me and I feel like I didn't perform good enough. And that's why at the end of the day I understand their business decision. And it is what it is. Yeah, after Eurobasket, I came back and I got waived, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say that it was the best timing, but yeah, I'm so over it right now. Like I don't take it personal. I must say it like I. Of course, I took it personal, but at the end of the day, I know how hard the WNBA is. I know how hard this league is. I've seen people before me getting waived 2 or 3 times per season and still bounce back from it. Like Veronica Burton is one of my huge examples of being waived and now being sixth man of the year this year. So it happens to everybody. And I think that being waived is never the most beautiful way. You have people that being waived the day before the season starts. I think that's a cruel way of being waived too. Like that's how I try to get past it because if I stay and oh yeah, they did that after an 18-hour flight and that's just not okay, like da da da. Like I'd never ever been, even in my social media posts about the Valkyries, or I've never been sour towards them because like literally it's okay. It sucked. Of course, it was bad because I missed a lot, but that was my choice. Like I knew that I couldn't have everything, and that just proved that I couldn't have and a great Eurobasket and a great WNBA campaign. I couldn't be important for the Valkyries and important for my national team. Like that's just part of the game for me at that moment. So it is what it is. It made me stronger.
Well, I understand you said that you don't approach it as being sour with the Valkyries, but obviously you have feelings, and I'm sure you felt hurt at that point. But at
Yes.
Eurobasket, you won, right?
Yes, I won.
And it was this great, amazing feeling, I am sure. And then how did it happen? Then you said, the 18-hour flight. Did you get a call during the celebrations, or what happened
I
there?
didn't have any celebrations. I took the plane back, and then when I was in the taxi on my way home, that's when they told me I have to come into the office, and that's when they told me um, I got waived.
Right. So you get called back from Eurobasket, and then
I mean, I had to go back because of uh, the limits, and like I had to go back as soon as possible because we had games to play. I had no times to lose, and there was some timetable too. Like we discussed this on up front. But of course, yeah, maybe if I was being waived, there's discussion. You could tell me this earlier, so I had the choice. But they wanted to say to me face to face. That's how they work, and I respect that. And I'm really, really, really okay with it. Like, because like I said, if that's their perspective and if that's how they do it, I have to respect it, and which I do because really, literally, it's fine. Like I'm really over it, and Yeah, it's part of the business. I we never think it's not easy for them to tell me that after I just won Eurobasket. Like I'm sure that that wasn't the easiest conversation for them. Also, they also had I'm sure that they also had a stone in their stomach when they were saying that because they knew how much I loved the Valkyries and they loved me too. They loved my personality. They loved what I did for the team, like, and what I meant in the locker room. Like, they knew that. So that was also not easy for them. Nor coach, nor the organization. Like, it wasn't easy because the fans loved me too. It wasn't just something, I think both sides, it wasn't easy.
Yeah. And then walking out of that meeting, you're now, you've been just waived. Walk me through that time until you talk to the Sparks.
I don't remember exact any detail because I was first of all so tired and second of all in a big shock. I just remember I sat down with most of my teammates for the Valkyries to drink, to say bye and to celebrate my Euroback, whatever I was doing. I don't even know. I just wanted to spend time with them because I love them a lot. They're very special to me. Always will be. Um, and then I just, I remember the day after, it was like 24 hours later that my agent said like, okay, you will be on the waivers list. There's a lot of teams interested, but salary cap and everything, it's not easy. They need to have salary days. They need to have the money to pay you because there's a salary cap. This team need to make sure this team will not sign you. Like, it was a whole thing. But he was like, Julie, trust me, you will get picked up. I was like, yeah, yeah. He was like, no, 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 you don't understand. Like, teams are hoping they will not sign you, so you are coming on the list. I said, oh, okay. I was packing in the thing like I'm going home because I want to just have rest. I want to just relax. And then when my agent called me and then I look in the mirror and I was just like, no, we're not giving up on this dream because it's been too beautiful. We got to just keep going. It's just a little setback. It's part of the game. Many players go through this. You'll be fine. So then my agent called me back and he was like, well, it's getting pretty serious. It might be LA. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I said, what do I do now? He was like, well, you got to fly to New York tonight. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, pack all your stuff, pack one bag to New York and leave. Because tomorrow they have a game. They can sign you if they have the chance to sign you, they can sign you at 5 and then you're going to play a game at 7. I was like, what? I said, they want me to play. They said, they want you to play. I said, oh, all right. So I took the bag, packed all my stuff, put them in a corner, left to New York, arrived there in the morning, slept a little bit, then go to the arena, waited outside. And then the general manager came to pick me up. And then I just got in at 5:05. I saw Julie in the locker room. So yeah, I saw Julie and then I knew I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I see her, I'm okay. I feel complete now. This is meant to be. I'm a Spark. And yeah, I've been in LA ever since.
Nice. And how was the rest of the season then with the Sparks after that?
It wasn't easy because moving to a different team in the middle of the season, whatever anybody say, it's hard. It's really hard to fit in, to find some 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 of your game style to fit in a team has been built already. So I was just trying to do as much as I can, as much of Julie, to show as much of what Julie can do in the sometimes limited minutes I got, sometimes more minutes. It was very like kind of up and down, but it was a very learning experience being with Julie, building an intense friendship with her and seeing Kelsey Plum, seeing how hard she works, seeing how much she does for like for for what she's getting. Like you can say, oh, Kelsey's the best, this and that. But the work she put in is unbelievable. I've never seen something like that in my entire life. She is a workaholic. Like, that girl works so hard. I don't care what nobody says. She is in the gym. The first will be the last to leave. It's unbelievable. So I saw there's a lot of things that I learned from. I loved the city. I loved living there. It was totally my vibe. Like there's a lot of positive things about LA. We almost reached the playoffs. Since I arrived there, they, not because of me obviously, but I was coming into a winning streak because we was winning so much games, and all of a sudden we were a playoff contender, and the vibes were good. Everybody was happy. Like it was a beautiful time there. Like I was coming into not like a losing team with like no wins. Like it just poof, it switched and we started winning close games. It was awesome to be a part of that.
And you almost made it to the playoffs. That must have
Almost
felt,
did. Yeah.
yeah, must have felt a little disappointing, but you still did a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, we can be proud of what we did. Especially this, if you see the start of the season of LA. It's huge. It's a bit the same like Washington, my first year. We did a terrible start of the season, but almost made the playoffs. Like literally was until the last day.
And now you're back in Turkey,
Yeah.
playing for Mersin. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. But in Turkish, Mersin, but you can say Mersin.
Mersin.
Yeah, Mersin.
And yeah, how is that experience being like for you?
It's been great. Like I love Mersin. I love the city. I'm right next to the beach. The weather is great. It's like Los Angeles a little bit. Always warm, always sunny. It barely rains here. People are nice. The gym, the facility. I have everything I can dream of, and yeah.
So the LA of Turkey.
Yeah, the LA of Turkey, you could call it like that. We've been playing well. I like my teammates. I like my coach. No complaints so far. I've been playing good. So, yeah.
Well, I also wanted to talk to you about that you've recently just started vlogging, right? And I've watched all of your vlogs so far. How did you have that idea of, oh, I'm going to start vlogging? And how did you get started with that?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people were very interested in my journey and about how I got to the point, how my life goes, how I function, a little bit more of the inside life of Julie. And then I was like, okay, maybe this is the perfect timing back to the Bay, like to start when I go back to the Valkyries. So I talk a little bit about my experience and how that goes because I was very quiet when everything happened. I didn't talk much publicly about how I felt and all that because I was just like, I don't want to be that type of person that uses media for that. And I was just like, let me vlog about it in a good, nice, and calm way with good vibes and like show the people how it's gonna be. And that's how it started. I just liked it. Everybody was very positive about it. So I was just like, let me bring something out every 2 or 3 months about a different topic. And yeah, that's how it started.
Did that change in any way the way you process your experiences? Or did you now, the only difference now is that you're just talking to a camera about it?
Yes, I'm doing this. I like doing it. I do it for the people that really love my journey. I do it to inspire people, but it's definitely not something that I love to do, to take my camera everywhere, because the more and more I get older, the more and more I want to not capture everything and really live in the moment. So I sometimes have to force myself and say, today is a vlog day because I got to keep my people posted and updated. But I definitely enjoyed the experience because it's fun to capture things on camera and then see them afterwards and be like, oh, that's a beautiful memory. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's nice. I can share this, you know?
Also, watching your vlogs, that sort of segues me into a few of our last questions here. I've seen, as you live in Turkey, we see a lot of cats, not the
Yes.
cats, the team, but you see a lot of cats, the animal, in your videos. And
Yes.
so tell me your story with cats, and then also how you met Karamel and how you ended up now having her with you.
Caramel. First of all, an animal lover at most. Like I love them so much. I have a street cat from Italy that I took when I was 24 years old. There was a kitten close to our gym and I took and saved her. She's not with me now. She's with my boyfriend. And then I have a dog that's from the shelter because in COVID, I was so bored that I asked the shelter, can I walk the dogs? And then I saw the first dog that I saw was Toby. And then I said, never mind, I'm gonna take that dog. So he came with me everywhere. He came with me to France, to Spain. And then obviously, whenever I had to take a plane, it was impossible for me to take Toby because he's a middle dog. He has to go under. And my mom just said, just leave him here. I can take care of him because my mom loves him so much. They're like best friends. So yeah, I definitely have like a little animal history, especially with shelter and street cats, dogs, whatever. So I came to Turkey and I was in Mersin. I arrived in Mersin around September. The weather was still hot and amazing, and we have a pool by our apartment complex. And my mom was here, and I just said, "Let's go to the pool." And who's the first cat that I see laying on a sunbed, chilling? Karamel, and she was, yeah, now she's 10 months. I think she was maybe 6 months. She was really small. And we gave her food, my mom and I. She said, "Oh, I have some chicken. Let me go get it." We gave her food. And from that day, I saw Caramel almost every day unless I was on the road. And I saw her every day around the pool, around the apartment complex. And I gave her fresh food every day, sit with her a little bit, pet her. And we just got closer. We created a bond until it even got that bad that she just walked with me to the elevator, stepped into the elevator, and came with me all the way to my apartment without me forcing her, just following me. She
She's
was
like, okay,
chilling.
let's go.
Yeah, she was chilling in my apartment. I gave her food, and then she went to the door crying back, wanting to go outside. I was like, okay, cool, we can do this. Like, my parents were here for Christmas. She was chilling here Christmas Eve, like enjoying, and then again going outside. But I realized that every time when there was a noise, she wanted to go outside. I think she wanted to hide because she's like, I don't know this noise. I get scared. Let me go to my hiding position outside. So at a certain point, I think it was 10 days ago, I come back from practice and I see Caramel and I'm yelling her name. I'm like, Caramel. And two big ass cats follow her. They smell me, they smell her, and they attack her. But if I'm telling you, attacking her with two cats, like one jump on her, bite her, one bit her like right under her tail. And I said, what is this? Like one man had to like help me because I couldn't handle them. Like I even kicked the other cat. I would never kick an animal. I kicked the cat just to save Caramel. So I went home and I took Caramel and she had dark blood and like she was very bad. She was shaking and I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? I went to the nearest vet, talked with that lady, said, listen, this is the story. What happened? They said she smells differently, so these cats are jealous and they want to attack her. I said, if I put her back on the street, what's going to happen? She said, they're going to kill her. I said, what? They said, yeah, they're going to kill her. Then they tested her blood and she was very sick. And she said, listen, you can choose what to do with it, but yeah, putting her back on the streets, it's a lost cause. So I told her, I said, never do whatever you have to do. I'm keeping the cat. So the rest is history. And look at her. She's right here chilling. I don't know if do you see her? Do you
Yeah,
see?
there she is. Yeah, just relaxing
Yes,
at
having the
home.
best time of her life, together with me, and we're like super close. She's on my lap the whole time. She sleeps with me. She just knows I saved her, you know. So we're good. She's not bad. She's much better now. She's still tired and a little bit sick, but she's great. So I'm gonna take her with me everywhere. If I go back to the W, she probably gonna come with me to America.
Yeah, she's gonna get a passport,
Yes, she already has one, and she's chipped. She's ready to go.
ready to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing, and
Yeah.
I'm sure she is really happy to now have a safe place to be and just enjoy her life.
Yes, definitely.
Well, Julie, we're almost done here, but before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you a few questions
Okay.
from fans. We asked fans, send us some questions for Julie. So this segment is called Fan Questions.
Here are your fan questions. Fan questions. Fan questions.
Eric has asked if you've ever been to Canada.
I haven't been to Canada yet.
Okay, well, maybe you will now if you come back to the WNBA because
Yes,
there's a
Toronto.
there's a Toronto team coming up.
Yep. Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so you might play in Canada. Flair is asking what language you speak to your teammates at the Cats.
We speak mostly English on the court, because we have people speaking Flemish and French. The easiest way is English, especially because our coach is American too, so everybody understands that language. But off the court, it depends with who we talk, Flemish and French.
Cedric is interested in knowing who your favorite all-time Club Bruges player is.
Ah. Oh, that's a hard one. My first favorite player ever when I was young was Bosco Balaban. He was my first jersey name that I put on my jersey. But my all-time favorite, I think for me in my generation and the games I went to, is Hans van Aken. He's the legend. He's our captain. He's still playing in Bruges. For me, he's our legend. And many people know this answer. I know that people are going to be like, we knew she would say that.
Alina wants to know what you like the most about basketball.
What I like the most about basketball? The adrenaline, I guess, the wins, and the friendships you build towards the bonds you make as a team, the memories, like just winning as a team, the adrenaline of winning. I think just winning in general.
Vilka, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She's asking, how did you get to such a high level?
Because I wanted to go to the highest level. I always said nobody's gonna stop me. I had this mentality. I worked very hard. I spend my summers in the gym. I spend my summers with my personal trainer. Spend my time with the people that believe in me and wanted to make me better. Surrounded myself with the people that's gonna push me to the highest level. And if you really want it, you can do it. Just have to make sure basketball is your priority and nothing but your priority.
Michaela is curious to know if you remember signing her cards at the Sparks versus Valkyries game, and she also wanted to let you know that that moment meant a lot to her.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember she was courtside and she yelled my name when I was doing my like kind of goodbye tour, and then I signed her card. Yeah, I remember that.
And Bortien is asking if you have any tips for young people like her who want to realize their dreams and ambitions in the sport.
Set goals, but don't compare yourself with other people. Don't compare your journey with other people. You walk in your own speed. Some people have different roads. Just follow your own. Like I said before, surround yourself with the right people that's gonna cheer for you, even if you're not in the room. And just never give up. It's never too late. You're never too old. Just keep doing your thing. If you really want it, trust me, your mind and your heart are unstoppable if you really want something. So just keep going.
Nina is asking what your favorite pregame snack is.
A banana. I think that's the one that digests the best, that gives me a full feeling and gives me energy. For me, that's the best snack and doesn't give me a dry mouth or like I'm never going to eat a protein bar that's just going to have pieces of that protein bar while I'm playing. I'm like, no, banana's easy, always good. So the banana.
The last fan question is not really a question, just else wanted to say that you're doing amazing and you have a lot of great fans cheering you on and behind you.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. And I feel that it's something that keeps me pushing and keeps me going to be the best version of myself for the people that's been following my road. Definitely.
Awesome. And Julie, the very last segment that we want to do tonight is called Quickfire. So we're coming to the end. The last thing I'd like to go through is this segment. So we're gonna give you a choice between two options. And you gotta
Okay.
choose one of them.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay, so here's Quickfire.
It's quick fire time!
Early morning workout or late night gym session?
Late night gym session.
Home cooked meal or eating out?
Home cooked meal.
Locker room DJ or headphones on?
Headphones on.
This is going to be a non-question here. Club Bruges or Anderlecht?
Ridiculous. Club Brugge, of course. Ew.
Okay, morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Movie night in or going out?
Going out.
Suitcase always perfectly organized or chaos?
Second one.
Traveling on the plane, window seat or aisle seat?
Aisle. Aisle. I hate to ask people to stand up if I have to go to the bathroom. I can't stand that. I feel bad. And yeah, it gives me stress. And aisle is just like you're free to stretch your legs. You're free to go to the bathroom. You're free to do anything you want.
Spontaneous plans or plan ahead?
Spontaneous plans.
Big group hangout or one-on-one?
Big group hangout.
Big assist or big bucket?
Big assist.
Road trip or short flight?
Road trip, definitely.
On your off day, complete rest or light workout?
Oh, I'm getting older, so I would say complete rest.
Okay, last one. Physical game or smart game?
Smart.
All the way.
Smarts, obviously. I don't do none of that physical if I don't have to.
Well, Julie, that's all we got for today. Seriously, thank you so much for being so open, honest, and sharing this time. This was a special episode. And, if you want to let people know your social media accounts, your vlogging accounts, so they can check you out.
Well, if they don't do so, then what are you doing? Like, everything has the same name. It's Julie35 Vanloo. It's everywhere the same on every account, so it's easy. So yeah, if you want to follow my journey, just come along. Hop on that boat. It's fun.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Julie, again. And to everyone that's listening, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Under the Sportlight.